Hey there guys, today we're taking a look at Batman Arkham Origins running on the 1135G7. We have slowly been making our way through this franchise. We're already on Origins and this was surprising. I mean, I launched the game, it defaulted to 720p, I left it at that. You know, everything else was at the lowest possible settings. You can see right here what the settings actually were. As you can see, pretty much everything is that low except for the geometry detail, but I'm pretty sure that's the lowest it could actually go. But 720p actually gives us very decent performance here. This is currently just a challenge mode and you'll see that the performance is very consistent, but it's also not exactly representative of the actual game because while you're doing missions and stuff like that, you're going to be in more open areas. This is pretty much a static area that we're here for a while, so not a lot of things that need to be loaded in once they're loaded in. Let's actually jump into some story stuff. So jumping into the story, immediately we start off with Batman doing to this man what most Twitter users wanted after playing Resident Evil 8, and the performance in all of this is actually significantly better. I was genuinely surprised to see how this was performing compared to just the challenge mode itself. You'll see the FPS averages are actually pretty high because we're in interior areas, usually not a lot of things that need to be rendered and stuff like that. This is of course early on in the mission. Those 1% lows though, there are some major drops, and that's what I was talking about. When you're in a static area, everything is going to be fine, but as more things need to be rendered in, there is going to be a noticeable drop. You'll see that the 1% lows are mostly affected when new stuff is popping in. So that is going to be a part of the experience, but once you got the gameplay actually going, you'll see everything is super consistent. So I would honestly say that the frame drops don't really affect the gameplay too much. Played on here for a couple of hours, did not run into any crashes or anything like that. The performance was very consistent. You would have those moments where there would be stutter when new things are loaded in, but when you're actually in combat, when you're actually in a fight, the performance is very consistent. Again, you'll see stutter is happening like crazy when loading in a new area, but once everything is loaded in, the performance is very consistent. So overall, I'd say that I'm actually really happy with how this ended up performing. I was thinking that once we got past Arkham City, the performance was really going to drop off a cliff, but even Arkham City really only struggled in the more open areas, although I find that that game kind of requires you to be out in the open significantly more than this game, where you're in a lot of interior locations. The performance is just more consistent when you're in interiors. Arkham City does have you doing a lot of things in the overworld, and that's where the performance is going to really tank. And honestly, the 720p resolution I think was a good recommendation by the game because I didn't really notice it after a while. Even with the overlay taking up so much of the screen, after a while you kind of just start to ignore it. You get used to it. So if that wasn't there, I could play the game completely fine and I would have no issues whatsoever. I think 720p is what I would play it at. After this though, we're going into some uncharted territory because of the fact that I have never played the Arkham Knight game. I've only played up until Origins. Never played Arkham Knight. The fact that it pretty much got removed from Steam for a while kind of just soured any ideas of me playing it, but I might actually just pick it up just to see how it performs. I know it's probably going to perform way worse than this, but we'll see. Maybe the lowest settings are actually miraculous and 720p might be enough to save it here. Who knows? Well, we'll see. But I'll pick that up probably during the next Steam sale. So until then, that is pretty much the last look of the Batman Arkham City series until maybe around Christmas time when, you know, Steam has a big sale. So we'll see how that goes. I want to thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed. We try out games on all kinds of old hardware. I'm very interested specifically in budget stuff, because the market is just so bad that I think there's an opportunity here for people to actually pick up for some pretty cheap systems and get themselves gaming. Because at the end of the day, almost any laptop is a gaming laptop if you're willing to play old enough games. Or even just light enough games, you know? Because realistically speaking, although I love playing the Arkham games, the games that I enjoy the most playing on this laptop are 2D indie games like Stardew Valley, because I'll get the fully playable experience on there that I would on my desktop, just on a smaller screen. So, you know, there's always games out there that you can play on whatever hardware that you have. But besides that, I will see you guys next time. Again, be sure to subscribe. Check out the affiliate links down below if you'd like to support the channel. We'll see you guys.